Land back. Hey, land back. Welcome to the Vanguard. Yes, self-critical, running a little late because we were making some good food. You know, and good food needs some love and time. Keep pointing to me.
Oju was making food.
Yes, I was making food. Tonight we have some special things. We got some stewed veggies, some breaded okra, and some tostones, which are
patacones in my head.
well, yes, they're patacones in Panama, but what are they?
They're fried plantains. You know, I like to when I smash them. I usually smash them with a little bit of garlic in there. You know, to make it like embedded with some garlic. So yeah, they're very good.
Yes, and that's what we're eating. So yes, I was trying to make extra fancy stuff, but you know what? Sometimes I gotta tone it down. I'd be too fancy sometimes. But yes, I'm back. Welcome to the Vanguard. Make sure you are liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing to our YouTube channel, Black Hammer TV, youtube.com/Black Hammer TV. But yeah, share. I wanted to see who is up in the room today. You know, if you are new to the Vanguard, this is where we give you that revolutionary tea on what's going on in the world, that anti-colonial spin to the news you might see in the New York Times and the news you might see in the Shade Room, wherever you get your daily dose of what's going on in the world, we give it that anti-colonial revolutionary spin. All right. And so laying back, make sure you are sharing, liking, and subscribing. But yeah, let's introduce ourselves. Who is we? We could go this way to this way. All right.
Land back, y'all. My name is Chifa Takame. I represent the Coca Noverarica people of colonized Mexico. I am of the poor working class, and I use they, them pronouns. And I am the Chief of Staff for the Ministry of People's Affairs.
Land back. I am Chief Oju, representing the nations of Africa and Boniken. Come from the working class, so I'm Peru Fries, and I use he, him pronouns, and I'm the Chief of Agitation and Propaganda here at the Black Hammer Organization. And
land back. I am Minister Ren. I represent the nations of Panama and Colombia. I am Peripu, Community Class Suicide, to be with the people, right? And I use they, them pronouns. And I'm the Minister of People's Affairs, making sure that people got what they need on the ground, whether it's weather alerts or food on their table or anything like that. We are here to serve the people materially. So, yeah.
Yes, and we're going to talk about that, about some of the ways we've been doing that, not here in Chicago, but just in general, our organization, how we're doing that. But yes, make sure you are sharing, commenting, and liking the video. Make sure you put that thumbs up. YouTube doesn't show dislikes anymore because everyone's really sensitive. Yes, everyone's really worried about their feelings. They don't like that, and so now they only show likes. So yeah, show the likes. Be like that anyway. All right, but make sure you are also donating. All right, so donate to Cash App #, Black Hammer Shy. All right, we also are on Venmo at Shy Hammers, CHI Hammers on Venmo. But yes, donate to us. We're going to talk about some of the things we've been doing in the chapter. But in general, we're preparing our people for winter, right? And so our people that are about to go through a really rough winter overall around the world, really, whether that is a cold winter or a hot, dry winter, whatever kind of winter it is going to be rough around the world. And so, but in Chicago, that means really, really, really cold temperatures. Tomorrow is supposed to be a high of 25, and that's just with that's the high, and the high gets there at 7 p.m. right?
Yeah, and that's only the actual temperature, because it's so windy in Chicago. I know it's the windy city, but no one prepared me for this. I come from a cold climate, and I'm not ready for this. The real feel is more in the tens.
Yeah.
So it gets, and it's one of the hotter days of the week.
Yeah. And that's why we have to, do as much as we can to help keep people warm. Getting blankets. We've gotten some good blanket donations from people that we've met, doing different outreaches, right? And we also need some those money resources, right? So I see, Cheem got $5 on it. Thank you, Cheem. And
land back, Cheem.
Arandano too. Hey, land back,
y'all.
We appreciate that. Yeah, for real, we really appreciate that. Yes, because this winter is gonna be a rough one. Make us big G, because our beautiful faces help us Connect with those people. Yes, no, our people really, really need it, right? And especially in a place like Chicago, where they're not just where it's not just cold, but then they take away our people's resources and tents and homes when it's cold, right? That this is the time where apparently everyone's supposed to be moved off the street and maybe into a hotel for like 2 days. But then what happens after that? All the temporary housing here is just until you can go back outside again, right? And for Chicago, that's a lot sooner than later. And so, yes, keep on donating Black Hammer Shy on Cash App. But yeah, I mean, in the meantime, we got to get into these news topics and into our tostones, into our food, because it's hot. Because again, just finished. So I need a hot tostón. Or patacón. I don't know. I don't like patacón. That sounds bad. I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
No, patacones is good. That's the more Pachamama way of saying it.
And also, they're giving me crap because where I'm from, I eat these with ketchup. So, that's how I grew up. That's how my family still eats it in Panama. So.
Yeah. So that's what we're eating, Thai, Senegal. We're eating tostones, which is smash fried, unripe plantains, right, with some garlic and salt. We got some breaded okra. And we got some verduras guisadas, like just stewed vegetables like broccoli, onions, and some garlic and some cumin and tomato sauce up in there. We vegetarian today. I was like, where's the
chicken? Listen, I've done the vegetarian thing. I've done the vegan thing. Chicken is very good.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yes, no, there could be chicken here, but we sans chicken today. Y'all see them chicken prices? The crisis of colonialism. Chicken breast costing $10.
I'm gonna be forced to go into vegetarian.
Yeah, the world is.
Yeah.
Even though a lot of the world is vegetarian already, but if chicken was an option, it ain't gonna be an option soon. She wants to know, ¿qué es tostón? Yeah, tostón is plantains, like the plátanos, like the big green ones, just smashed and fried twice. So yes, that's what we got. This thing right here. Hey. Oh yeah, go ahead. Oh yeah.
I don't want to reach over your plate. Thank you.
Go ahead. So yeah, let's get into these topics, G. Let's see what's going on in the world. Oh, us.
We're going on.
Yeah, we're going on. What's going on? Black Hammer's going on. All right. This is a pic of us. So I keep talking. Walter Carver, you want to talk about what this is a pic of?
Yes. So this is one of the many pictures from this weekend's outreach. As we talked about, right, we serve the houseless community of Tui Park. And this weekend we had a birthday of one of the people there, one of our now comrades.
Yeah.
One of our comrades there. So we were able to, get together, do some political education, and celebrate a birthday that hasn't been celebrated in over 20 years, which, every person deserves to be acknowledged. Every person deserves to be celebrated. And so we did that through political education. It was really beautiful. It was raining outside. So luckily one of the restaurants in the plaza near the park let us in and let us celebrate his birthday with him and do some political education, which they overheard as well.
Yes.
And yeah, we were able to, two of the people that we've been working with signed up this weekend. So we got 2 new Shy Hammers, which is so exciting, and it's really going to help us continue to build that relationship in that park and bring that discipline and organization and refine the leadership skills that they already naturally have, or not naturally, but through, being the class, they do have leadership already in the park. And so they were more than excited to become hammers. They took that same second that we gave them their shirts to put them on. It was really beautiful. It was a really powerful moment. And I think it's the first of many. Of many.
Yes, first of many for sure, because I think this is what happens, right? Not think because we see what happens when you are not just serving people, right? It's not just serving people and giving them something that's charity. What you're doing is you're showing them that the leadership that they already have is something that can be organized with each other, right? Because people always want to be like leaders on their own, like I got myself, I got it, I can do it, but you can do it, and so this person can do it, and this person can do it. So why don't we all do it together, right? And then do it together to overturn the situation that we all got stuck in. because of people that aren't in this circle right now, right? Because of our enemies, because of colonialism, because of these colonizers, right? And so it was really good. It was a good birthday party. We had a cake.
That he made, by the way.
Yes,
it was really good.
Handmade the cake, the frosting, everything. It was so delicious.
And then wrote happy birthday. And then it was like, oh wait, let me write it Feliz cumpleaños.
I did mess it. I wrote the H. I was like, oh man. But
it was good.
But it was amazing also to see Chief Watakame and Chief G deliver political education in Spanish, and to really share with the people that we recruited how how much that they can see themselves in the revolution. It's one thing to just hear the same way from the same people, but to hear it from someone who is from your nation and from your people means something, right? And then now they're seeing that, but they're seeing people of different nations also do that with them too, so that they're making those connections and working on that divisionism, which is amazing to see too. How did it make you feel? What we did?
It was a great morning. Like we made burritos as well. Like every Sunday we also give out burritos. You saw that little clip in the beginning. We like made both one vegan because we do have somebody there who is vegan, and 4 other vegetarian, and then one 5 other like chicken ones, right? And just preparing the food, making sure that they were nice and toasty when we got there, right? Like getting there quickly, and just giving them to whoever was there. It was just really beautiful. Oh, and then we did accidentally forget the candles here, but the people there were like, oh, don't worry, we got it, right? And went right across the street and got some candles. And the first candle was like I don't know what they're called.
It was the vela,
it was like a big vela del Sagrado Corazón,
like the prayer candles.
Yes.
I was like, they're like, oh, we need birthday candles. Someone brought one giant prayer candle.
So they returned that and came back with other they were still really big, but it was perfect. It was like whatever you got. I mean, we would have it didn't matter. We made it work, and it was really beautiful to be a part of, right? Like this celebration and help facilitate it, right? Like because he had his own birthday card that he was passing around and making sure that everybody signed it. And he was like, oh, made sure that we signed it too. Each one of us, not just one of us. It was just a really beautiful time to see everybody just so he was so happy. I could tell that he was just so happy. And just to see them be so pay so much attention to even when G first started talking, they were like, oh, hey, what's going on? It was very much respecting and just very much oh, okay, we're listening to you now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The entire thing was just really beautiful, and they were just really excited to join us and everything. So it was great.
Mm-hmm. I know, because of G's hard work, they've now been elevated, so now they're eating the same dinner as us. Especially because it's vegetarian. No more dry biscuits. Their hard work has paid off. They get to eat the tostones and the vegetables and everything. Mm-hmm. So that's why they're producing, but they're also a little bit silent because they're munching on their good food. But lay back. It was a really beautiful thing to see, and it's something that all our chapters are doing, right? And we're all doing it in the ways that respond to the material conditions of where we're at, as well as all working on the same principles. So working with the same theory, working with the same guiding principles, but of course responding to the material conditions of the people that we are directly serving in the place that we're serving them at. And that's real revolution, right? Real worldwide revolution does that. It's not applying, let's do the same thing in the same way everywhere. Mm-hmm. It's no, here's the theory. The theory says that this is the leadership. So go find and create and cultivate that leadership in your place, no matter how that has to be done, right? And that's what we're really moving forward on, and it's been great to see.
Something I thought was really beautiful too, not only being able to deliver PE in Spanish, and for G and I, but how naturally it came, right? Because it just but also in other quote unquote leadership positions, whatever, a lot of the time it was really beautiful to see point of reading number 2 in action when it came to age, because we are younger than these comrades, and something that I've experienced a lot is just in the colony, right? Like that divisionism between age of I can't possibly know what I'm talking about. I can't possibly be leadership because I'm younger than whoever. But it was really beautiful to see, like Ren said, when Chief G started talking, or honestly, whenever we start talking, right, the immediate attention and that they give, and there was none of that. You're too young to know what you're talking about. It's just further proof that our people live the theory, right? They understand the principles of unity on basis. We can explain it and we will, struggle to make sure that they are living it, right? But it's something that's naturally understood by the people, as per the theory. They are the natural leadership.
Exactly.
So yeah, that was just something else that I thought was, it was really beautiful to see.
Yeah, no, and like we're looking forward to smashing more of the divisionism that we see colonialism create at the park. We're looking forward to recreating what we did in Tui Park and other parks in the city and other places in the city. It just shows the potentiality of the people, the potentiality of the future, and it's so clear and it's so clear and it's just so real. And so yes, if you ain't enjoying it, join Black Camera, because Black Camera is the only place that is happening. It's the only place I ever seen it happen. It's the only place that everyone sees it happen, whether they like it or not. So yes, laying back. Let's go into our next topic, see what's going on. Oh, yep.
And this is breaking news we are following. CNN has fired anchor Chris Cuomo, and CNN made the announcement in a statement saying the termination is effective immediately given new evidence in their investigation. The network suspended Cuomo earlier this week after an investigation revealed how he aided in his brother's, former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo's, defense during a sexual harassment scandal. They found text messages between the former CNN anchor and several aides that revealed he planned to use his connections in the press to help his brother's team.
Now, I don't know why anyone's surprised about a Cuomo using connections.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know, it's Grandpa Cuomo, who was the governor of New York back in the 60s, I think, the 70s. Yeah, so Grandpa Cuomo, the mayor of New York, I don't know, either governor or the mayor. I think he was the governor. Grandpa Cuomo. And then Andrew Cuomo is governor later. I wonder why. Because of connections and family and taking advantage of the system that they already control as colonizers. They're Italians. That still make them colonizers, y'all. And then all of a sudden, what? Chris Cuomo uses connections and power to influence the media for his other brother Cuomo. What? Oh my goodness. That ain't a surprise. But I think it's a surprise that they fired Chris Cuomo in 2 seconds, because they were trying to put up Chris Cuomo as like this. I think they were trying to make them like Kennedys or something, where there was like these two brothers. One is very like distinguished and leader, and the other one's like young and suave and happy and hip. and I was supposed to be Chris Cuomo, but they fired his ass.
He was supposed to be suave.
Yeah, because he's the one on TV. Like they don't put Andrew Cuomo on TV because like he butt ugly, but then Chris Cuomo at least looks a little bit younger than his actual age, and so they put him on TV because it's not like he's actually a talented journalist. And so they're gonna use his image because he's a Cuomo, and I'm surprised they fired him that quick because he had a whole career coming. He's probably gonna be the next who's the mofo who just left, Brian Jennings. They're trying to make him just some CNN long-term anchor probably. But they cut him off because he's sexually assaulting people too. Surprise, surprise.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Ren, what you thinking about Chris Cuomo?
I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, like colonizers use their connections all the time, right? Like that's why, like that's how one of the ways that they get their power, right? Is literally just using like, oh, so my dad knows your dad, like whatever. Let me see what we can do here, like to get a deal, right? And that's part of the ways that they keep their power, right? And also continue to take it. So yeah, we just, I don't know, like I'm not surprised at all. Like this is just a continuation of like how colonizers just be colonizing, really. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. No surprises at all. But one thing too about Chris Cuomo is that remember he had caught the virus earlier, and then he was like trying to do the whole expose on CNN, like covering his like illness and recovery. And so it's like I'm surprised and also let go of someone that was pushing the propaganda. You know, you think they would have kept it, but I guess Me Too outweighs the virus. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the reason he got fired so fast is because he was making them look dumb.
Mm.
You know, I don't think they can afford to have to cover the tracks for somebody,
Yeah.
if that makes sense, you know?
Mhm.
As far as connections, I mean, that's like y'all laid it out. That's how they make sure that people that have the same interests are the ones in power, right? That's how they get their ideas pushed and things like that. So I'm not surprised about the connections. I'm not surprised of the assault because that's all that colonizers know.
Mhm.
They have no respect for human life. They have no respect for dictatorship. They have no respect for anybody but themselves and pushing colonialism forward, right? And so they're going to do whatever it takes to make that happen, including putting their friends in whatever positions that they need.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think, for me, it makes sense that he was fired so fast because he makes them look dumb
Yeah.
or more exposes what they, because how do you not know?
Yeah.
You know,
They've been though.
Exactly. They've been knowing what they've been doing, and it just came out, and that makes them look dumb. So now they have to pretend to be like, oh, what? That was happening here? Oh, that's crazy. You're fired. You know, so that no one keeps asking questions. But yeah, I don't know. It's very status quo for the colonizers, I think.
He was making them look more dumb than he was making them money, I guess.
Exactly.
Right, because that's the status quo. Because you know, we of course people don't mind looking dumb if they're making a buck.
Yep.
Right. Even the most wealthy colonizer, the most wealthy family, they'll put on a whole reality show if it makes them money, right?
It's true.
But the Cuomo's ain't about to have no reality TV show, so if they do,
We hope.
yeah, that's true. Wait, that's true. They still could have one. So in Illinois, Robert Blagojevich was the governor that got he got put in jail because after Obama won the presidency, there was a recording of him selling Obama's Senate seat to and the highest bidder. Like, oh yeah, who wants to be senator now that Obama's president? And they caught him on tape doing it.
Oh my god.
And so he went to jail. And in that meantime, okay, the Blagojeviches they'll disappear. But then his wife ended up on that NBC show, like I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. Like she ended up on that show. Blagojevich now has like a YouTube channel because Trump pardoned him. So again, also no matter what these colonists do, they'll still make a buck after this. They might be charged with sexual assault, might have rumors, might have all this reputation staying, but they're gonna still make their buck because they control the media, they control how the resources flow still, so they can still control the resources back to them no matter what they do. The only thing that'll stop that flow is us ending colonialism and us organizing together to stop that flow and to cut it off and cut them off and let them shrivel up and dry up wherever they are. So that's the only way. Yes, that was a show. I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and with the wife of disgraced former Illinois Governor Bob Blagojevich. Not much celebrity status. It's probably E-list celebrities.
Yeah.
But yeah, but that's how they go. And so Cuomo, we're gonna see Cuomo again.
Yep.
Trust. What's next, G?
In Hawaii, the city of Honolulu has shut down a well that supplies water to nearly 100,000 residents. Officials there are trying to avoid contaminating the water supply with petroleum from an underground aquifer it shares with the U.S. Navy. Nearly 1,000 military households have recently complained about their tap water smelling like fuel, and some have complained of stomach cramps and even vomiting. The Navy and the city share a well that is near a giant World War II era underground fuel tank, the source of multiple fuel leaks over the past several years.
All right. Woo. Hawaii is in the middle of the ocean. And it's wild that a set of islands in the middle of the ocean can be so touched by colonialism that the water is poisoned. It's so far from everybody else. And yet colonialism will touch every corner of this world because they steal and loot and pillage everything. And so we have Hawaii that, of course, is colonized by United snakes. And yes, the water is poisoned right now. Of course, there's a lot of military bases already on those islands. And so you have this old World War II era tank. And across the United States and across the world, there are so many, old weapons and old fuselages like in the ground, whether they fell from planes or were planted there to shoot in the sky. But yeah, in Hawaii, they have that. And now it's poisoning the water of Honolulu, which is where everyone in Hawaii, I think 80% of people in Hawaii live in Honolulu. It's where very much everyone is. And so yeah, they're kind of just being super casual about it. They're just, it's been happening the past several years. People are getting stomach cramps and vomiting. Oh no, it's just, again, they're just so blasé or whatever about the effects of colonialism, because at least it's not impacting somebody's water. Somebody's water is not being impacted enough, or they are getting enough clean water resources that they don't have to worry about it. And so this happens in Flint. This happens everywhere. So yeah, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, this is just disgusting. It's hard. we're on that. Yeah, the islands know colonialism hard. Like you said, the bases, like so many military bases, right? And we all know that the U.S. military is the biggest pollutant in the entire world. And poisoning water is genocide 101. It's colonialism 101, right? It's continued. It happens everywhere. Like you look at any indigenous reservation in the Snakes, in Canada, anywhere in the world, really, and you're not going to find clean water. You're not going to find resources that people need to just survive, And it's crazy that it's so like, oh, not oops again. And it just, because again, the people that are going to be impacted is going to be the indigenous people of the islands, right? It's not going to be the tourists. They're going to get their clean water. They're going to get their hella expensive filtration systems, because that's what keeps the money in white people's pockets. And it's so disgusting. It's so disgusting. And it happens every time something happens in the islands, right? Yeah. It's the indigenous people speaking up. It's the indigenous people like asking for dictatorship, right? And at some point we have to stop asking. At some point we have to start fighting back. We have to rise up. We have to take dictatorship over our land, right? Over their land. Like they need revolution. The whole world needs revolution, so that we can clean out these, what was it, World War II fuel tank, whatever. Like what the hell? Why the
almost 80 years ago?
Like what? It's just disgusting. It's disgusting, and there's not going to be a study on how the people who are experiencing stomach cramps and vomiting. No one's going to care about their health. No one's going to care. They're not going to do studies on how this is affecting, how many people get long-term illnesses, how this affects birth rates, how this affects like birth defects. No one, like, they're not going to take the time to do those studies because they don't care. They don't care. And it's so heartbreaking and disgusting and enraging and all of these things. And I could go on, but that's essentially it. Colonialism is disgusting, and that's why we're here.
And of course, like, these are islands that people, colonizers advertise to tourists as like, pristine, untouched. That's how they always try to promote so many islands, colonized islands in general, really. And they're just they're some of the most touched places by these colonizers, by these colonial countries. And of course, you might not see it on the surface because all the resources have been taken and set elsewhere, or you don't see it because it's in the people that they hide away from the tourists, from the hotels, from the beaches. Yes. So yeah, what do you think about Hawaii and the storms too? That are happening now?
Yeah, I'm back. In case y'all haven't seen, like, in the news today, Hawaii's getting hit by a lot of storms, like this, like just one storm, right? But it's like they're having like flood watches and advisories and things like that. And even the local news is what is like really concerning, because they're the ones that are saying like, yeah, like this could be catastrophic flooding, right? And that's like, sorry.
Tostón.
Exactly.
Just
No,
the ketchup.
relax. I just whatever. Anyway, but no, and like that's like I don't know. You were saying earlier, like who has ever heard of Hawaii like flooding like that? Like they go through storms a lot, right? But for it to be this concerning that there could be flooding, right? All while their water is being poisoned, right? Like clean water like during a flood is already hard enough, and then to be struggling to get clean water before the flooding, right? Like on top of that, it's like makes it so much worse. Like people are not like because when things flood, right? Like here in the city, even here in like Chicago, when things flood here, it goes like once the sewage backs up, it goes straight into the into the lake or in the street, like whatever. And so I can't imagine like the amount of what they're doing there as far as like their sewage system goes, where that clean water is going to come from. And with the storms, right, like who is going to be able to bring them clean water if the storm does affect the shipping, right, that would be coming. So yeah, there's a lot that could affect this, that like the storms could make worse, especially with the clean water already being an issue. So yeah, I 100% unite like with colonialism like continuing, right, to be just absolutely disgusting. People are constantly fighting for their like water rights. Like they just want to be able to have clean water, which is just like the basic necessity of life is clean water. Like our bodies are made up of primarily water. So how for us not to have access to that is like a basic human right, a basic existence, like not even human, like every living being on earth deserves to have clean water. And the fact that Hawaiians are not, and not just Hawaiians but colonized people worldwide, struggle to have even just that, because even our African chapters, right, like they struggle to have clean water, and that's why they like there's there's people getting sick over there with malaria all the time, with all kinds of other things, right, all the time. And it's because colonialism continues to rob us of that right and steal that from us, and that's why we have Black Hammer, right? Like we are fighting to get that back. So land back to all colonized people for just basic basic rights, right? Basic things.
Land back. Yes. No. Yeah. Chim here says they met an Indigenous Hawaiian today. They wish they knew about this. Yeah, and of course, tell if you run into them again, tell them about this. Tell them to let their people in Hawaii to know to sign up for Black Hammer, so we can get our Hawaii chapter.
Yeah, I hope you got their contact, Jean.
Yes, you can also have them email us bh-npa@protonmail.com for any tips and things like that. Because like Minister Ren said, the major media and even the National Weather Service is downplaying it, right? They're saying, oh, it's just an advisory. And if so, just for context sake, the 3 levels of an alert is a watch, an advisory, and a warning. A watch being the least of it, right? An advisory is like, oh, you should maybe watch out. And that's how that's what's in place right now, right?
Yeah.
But the state is under, or the governor declared a state of emergency, right? And the smaller local news sources are begging people in the areas most affected to get out and to find somewhere to go. And they say, flooding could be catastrophic and things like that. But what they don't say, they always say in areas with poor drainage, right? You only have to worry if you're in an area with poor drainage.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the hotels?
Nope.
Do you think that's the airport? Do you think that's like the tourist spots? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's where the people live, right? It's the towns. And those are the people that are going to see even more pollution, even more just, in the state right now, it's also going through like 90 mile per hour winds, y'all, in some places, in some of the islands, 90 miles per hour.
Wow.
At 30, they recommend you stop driving. It's 90 in some places, 50, all throughout. And Hawaii is a beautiful place when we think about the land, 'cause
Yeah.
they also have blizzard warnings
Yeah.
at the mountaintop.
It's so wild how there's snow at the top of Hawaii and at the bottom is like
a tropical storm.
tropical like storms. Wow.
And not a lot of people go up there or live up there and stuff like that. And but they're going through so much, which they always do. It never stops. And like Chico just said, we never hear about it, But today we were able to call all of our contacts there and check in and with anyone that we could. Because that's what MPA does. It makes sure people have the resources. So yeah, if y'all do meet people who are there, have family there, have them contact us. We have a lot of information. And if they have tips, as well, because we learn from the people, the collective brilliance is stronger than anything else. And even if they don't want to join or whatever, if they want to help us get even more information to the people, then have them do that as well.
Yes. The email is bh-mpa at protonmail.com. Yes. Email. We'll put it in the chat at some point. All right. Linda, what's next, G? What's the next topic?
The U.S. border officials could start returning migrants as early as today. Asylum seekers will then be provided notice to appear in courts in San Diego, El Paso, Laredo, and Brownsville, according to White House officials. Now, under these new plans, asylum cases have to be complete within 180 days. At least 22 Justice Department immigration judges have also been tasked to decide these asylum requests. Additionally, the U.S. expanded the categories of migrants who may be too vulnerable to send back to Mexico. They include the elderly and those with mental or physical health conditions, as well as members of the LGBTQ community. More than 70,000 asylum seekers from Latin America were returned to Mexico during the Trump administration. Now, the reinstatement of this program could open up the Biden administration to some legal challenges. The Biden administration is currently trying to appeal the federal court's decision. Alyssa Tejas, KENS 5, Eyewitness News.
So this is a Trump era policy, right? There's a Trump era policy that said that if you were seeking asylum, you had to plead your case from Mexico, you couldn't plead it in the United States, right? And so this is something that Biden came and said, "Oh, I'm going to reverse this because deserve better, blah 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 blah, Sleepy Joe nonsense, spill all out of his mouth." And look what happened. Which happens with every person that so many of y'all vote for, because y'all keep on voting for president anything, but for president. Because you keep voting for these people. What did Biden do? Biden reinstated this policy again. And so a lot of these migrants are coming from like Honduras, El Salvador, multiple places, and are making their way up and end up in Mexico before, which is the last place before the United States, and now are stuck there because they have to plead their case, which could take up to 6 months. And so you have that, and then it's not like Mexico doesn't have its own ability to send people somewhere either. It does, and so that's what so many people are faced with right now. You saw the Haitians come through. You saw all these people coming through recently, and now Biden says stop. And so, what are you thinking about this? What the coming?
I mean, it's first of all, so many first of all. They call it the stay in Mexico policy, right? That's not the official name, but that's what they call it. And that's assuming so the majority of the people who come are not from Mexico. They come from other countries, including the continent of Africa, right? That's the thing. They don't say if you come through Mexico, you're gonna get sent to Mexico. It's if you come seeking asylum, you're gonna get sent to Mexico. And it's just disgusting. Like you said, it was a Trump era administration, whatever. The liberals and the Democrats or whatever, they're trying to give mercy to Biden, saying that it was forced by a judge to have it overturned and whatever. But like I said, this already started. It started in Brownsville, El Paso, and San Diego, are the first 3 camps to, and there's just so many contradictions that come, and I hadn't read the part about the at-risk groups who are going to be allowed to stay as if it's better here. Like at the end of the day, people are being held in tents, in a not sanitary, non-humane way in either side of the line. Like that's the thing. Mexico is a neo-colonial state. It's not that much different from the United States. It's really not. And this is really just a cop-out, right? Because it says, oh, we're gonna make them make a decision in 6 months, where before it used to take up to like years and years and years, right? But like they said, Mexico still has the ability to still deport people.
Yes.
So when an asylum, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought asylum was a legal right. You could come
like
to
international one.
Yeah, like you could come to a country and seek asylum, and then they would have to determine your case, right? At this point, what they're doing is rescinding that completely, because you're going to come here, they're going to send you back, and then Mexico will be like, nah, you're getting deported. And then the U.S. is going to be like, oh no, we had no choice. That wasn't us, And another thing they missed was that this only came back to be because Mexico agreed to it. Like they, not because the Biden administration wasn't okay with it, not because they weren't pushing it. They were just waiting for Mexico's approval, and that's what pushed it through. Now, again, no one was fighting this. And yeah, like it, and they're also pushing this like to continue pushing the shots, right? Because they're gonna say, oh, well, people are gonna be grouped up. They need to get whatever, and that's just gonna further everything. And it just, the Biden administration first wanted to like remove this because it was inhumane, because people like in Mexico were getting assaulted, were getting whatever, all of these horrific things, which every year there's a report of how much that happens on this side of the line, right? So it's all around disgusting. Like the colonial system has no right to decide where we go. Down with all borders. Because again, it's a dumbass line.
That's fine.
Okay. Like we, as colonized people, we migrate, we move, right? And they also don't even start to think about why people are moving. And that's because of colonialism. It's because they have made life in our own countries so unbearable, and they have made life in our countries a death sentence. So people are going to fight for their lives, and they're going to fight for their freedom. And this is the only way that they know how to do it, right? And that's why it's important. Like, that's why our work is so important too, because we teach them a better way to fight for their freedom. We teach them a way that's going to make a lasting impact. We teach them a way where they take dictatorship over their life, over their power, right? All of that pain and suffering, and put it towards ending it for everybody. And that's why we're going.
That's why we're
going to Mexico. But really to bring revolution, right? And to show, and it's just disgusting. But at the end of the day, it's colonialism again. Like all of these horrific news that we see, it's heartbreaking and it hurts and everything, and it's disgusting. But at the end of the day, it's just colonialism. Yes. Colonialism just takes so many faces, right? So many ways of working, so many ways of destroying lives. And it just, I pray for the people always, right? Every person who migrates and colonized people as a whole, but they're really just going to get even more colonized. They're going to get even more abused. They're going to get just shoved around so much more and have horrific things forced on them. And I just can't wait to stop it. Can't wait to end it. For them, for the people that are that this is gonna keep happening to, until we win. Yes. But that's, it's better than just sitting here and pretending to vote for someone who's gonna change.
Yeah, exactly. All the people who did vote thinking that was supposed to overturn it and change it, it wasn't, because all around the world, whether it's like Spain or Greece or Italy, where migrants are also going from other places to those coasts, are being told, no, you can't come in. And so the world has already unified around colonizing the rest of the world, right? All those colonies are united are colonizing the world, but they are really, really uniting now, not letting any more colonized people come into their walls, into their borders, within their borders
Of our resources.
with our resources to do so. And so they're really hunkering down on it. And I'm excited for this topic too. What you thinking about this, man?
Yeah, this really reminds me of how Obama was the one that, deported the most people, right, during his presidency. So,
The deporter in chief.
No, the deporter.
Yeah, that was the nickname the immigrant community. Yeah, deporter in chief, because like you said, deported more people than any other president.
Yeah, and that's like that's the thing. Like when people said were like, oh, vote for Biden. Like he's so much better than Trump. Like, he'll stop this. Okay, he was the vice president during like Obama's reign, right? So like, why did you think that this would be any better? So that just literally makes no sense. But no, this is just disgusting. Like, the amount of people who are just literally fighting for their life, like that are just literally just trying to build a better life, not even for themselves. Like that's like, that is at like not the bottom, but that's number two. For their children is like usually number one, is that they just want, a better life for their children. And they just want to be able to, have a life where they don't have to literally be afraid that somebody is going to kill them any day. Right. And the reason why they feel that way, or that they fear that, right, is because of colonialism, is because of the way that the state is, or the environment is that they're leaving. But to like try to create this whole it like this is all just a bureaucratic mess. Like I can already see the issues that, like what the government was saying, like that 6-month limit of how long they are able to, like the cases are going to be, that is going to be broken very quickly. Like the amount of people that they are going to try to process, quote unquote, right? Like they're literally are going to just treat every person as, they already do that, like treat every person as a case number, and try to like push them along as quickly as possible. And it's just not like, it's not going to be feasible. And the only reason why they are pushing that like 6-month limit is to make it seem more humane. As if, like
as though any of it's humane.
Yeah, like exactly. Like the entire thing is absolutely disgusting. And they, like what the government said as well, like they have no right. They have no right to put that on anybody, especially the people whose land that they are on, right? That like these colonizers are on our land, and they do not deserve any right to say anything about like where people that are indigenous to this land can go, especially when they are currently taking those resources from our land and using that to imprison us, using that to kill us every day. So yeah, like that.
Yeah. Like just to know, not just people of this land, right? Because again, a majority of the immigrants are not from Turtle Island or Pachamama, right? Like there's a staggering number of Haitians, of people from Africa, and again, it's colonized unity, right? It should be colonized people making decisions for themselves, and that's all.
Yeah.
Yes, no, exactly. This is impacting people, colonized people across the world, and not even, again, like people not even just coming here, but people going to other nations too, trying to escape do what they think is escaping colonialism, because they see their resources somewhere else. So since they see their resources somewhere else, they go toward the resources, but they still aren't given them once they arrive there, because they don't have dictatorship over them. They don't have control over them. We don't have control over them. And so that's why you have to join Black Hammer. That's why you have to support Black Hammer, because it's getting dictatorship over our lives, labor, land, and resources back that's going to make it so that when we do migrate, when we do move, we don't have to worry about losing our resources. We don't have to worry about being genocided. We don't have to worry about anything, because all we're doing is just being humans on an earth. And in a world where no one lives at the expense of another, resources are not necessarily guaranteed by the earth, but are guaranteed in a system where everyone's treated equally, right? And people's dictatorship is respected and enforced. So, yes, land back. Land back. What's our? I think this is our last topic. It's not about Omicron, but it's there for a second.
The parents of a 15-year-old suspect in the Michigan school shooting that killed 4 students this week remain behind bars this morning in the same jail that houses their son. They are facing involuntary manslaughter charges in connection with the shooting. James and Jennifer Crumbly were taken into custody early Saturday morning after a manhunt when they failed to turn themselves in for an arraignment on those charges. They were found hiding in a warehouse in Detroit and now are being held on $500,000 bond each. Prosecutors say despite a number of warning signs, the couple failed to keep a gun out of their son's hands. Both have pleaded not guilty to those charges.
Yeah.
This is so funny. I mean, you know what I mean. You know what I mean, world. No, it's funny to see these parents get charged for what their son. This is the first time this has ever happened. This is the first time this has ever happened. I've never seen parents get charged for a school shooting, and these parents apparently they've done some digging, and there was one point where I think their son joked about like ammunition or something in class, and the mom like texted, "Oh, just make sure you don't get caught." And so they got all the tea on them already out there, and now they got some involuntary manslaughter charges, which is wild. And if they get charged, what does that mean for the rest of us colonized people? Because if they are on the page of charge the parents for what the kids did, they're about to put some whole colonized families up in prison. Yeah. Because that's what the setup is. That's what the setup is. And if it comes down to trying to taking guns or firearms away from colonized people, then no. That's what this is leading to, y'all. Because whenever our white parents charge with what their white child did, never. If anything, they're honored or get money. Like Kyle Rittenhouse, his whole family has been showered with money and sponsorships and all this stuff. But ain't nobody raining anything down on these people because, of course, in this case, it only involves colonizers, I guess. So no one's really heated about nothing. But they're trying to make us, this liberal agenda, trying to make us heated just about gun rights and the Second Amendment. And when we know it's well beyond that, it's about colonialism and how it's made all of them sick. They're sick enough to even destroy each other. So, yeah, land back. Brand, what you thinking about these parents being charged?
First thing I want to say is how so I don't think they showed a picture of the child, but the child is like an exact mix of both parents, and all of them are just ugly and crusty. It just goodness. Anyway,
the crusty crumblies.
Yeah.
Hashtag crusty crumblies. They're the crumbly family.
Yes.
Hashtag crusty crumblies in the comments.
God, disgusting. But no, I think you're absolutely right. I do think that this is like going to lead to a lot more of something else. I don't know if it's going to be, like you said, like colonized, children like getting in trouble for something and then not leading to their parents getting in trouble as well, right? Or honestly, I think the gun rights is a good way of like this going, right? Like, oh, you have to, if you're gonna get a gun, like, and you have children in the house, you have to have a safe, or you have to have X, Y, and Z, mm-hmm. right? It's gonna become another thing, right? And more regulation or stricter laws around gun rights is not going to help anybody. It's just gonna keep guns out of colonized people's hands, who are just trying to defend themselves. And these things are not like, it's already hard for colonized people to get access, right, to these things. And along with even just being able to afford it, half the time, colonized people can't even afford it. So between those two things, I'm like, another law that would probably require another fee. It would probably require another, purchase or something like that. I can imagine, a lot less people being able to have access to it, especially colonized people. So, yeah, I think it's pretty wild that these these parents are getting charged. But I think it's just, like you said, going to lead to something else. Yeah.
That's more hurdles for people doing it the right way.
Yeah, exactly.
You got the people, getting it the other way. But what those charges are going to mean is that, so you got more colonized people doing it the other way, because the right way is so hard already. And so we're gonna get some extra jail time now for the kids and parents. For not only did you let your child use it, you let your child use an illegal one, and now we're gonna give you 20 more years on top of that, right? So that's what I see all of that leading to, and I'm really interested to see what kind of sentence these parents are gonna get, because they're gonna get. I mean, it's gonna be guilty.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see. I think it's going to be guilty, but they're going to probably get. They're probably going to get at least a good chunk of what their son's getting. Like the son probably going for life. Michigan don't mess with things like that because it's basically South Carolina. But yeah, they're going to get some good time probably. I mean, they have a $500,000 bond. Was it?
Yeah, or $500,000.
$500,000 each in their bond. So that says a lot about what they're planning to do with them.
Yeah.
So what you thinking?
Yeah, I'm back. I think this plus the Mexico thing, they just want to cage up all colonized people.
Yeah.
They really do, and I think that's a brilliant deduction, Chief Oju, because I definitely did not even think about it like that. Yeah, and doing this with the white family first is going to give them the credit of, but it's not racist. It was white people first.
Exactly.
And no, you're right, and it just again. They're not going to think about why colonized people, specifically children, do those types of things, right? It is because of colonialism, right? It's horizontal violence, which again was introduced and perpetuated by by the white man.
Yeah.
And influenced in everything. Like it's the white man's fault for horizontal violence, for youth violence, for any of that stuff, and not that it matters, but most colonized, I don't know, it's so different between these white parents knowing what was going to happen. Oh no, don't get caught. I'm not mad at you. Just don't get caught next time, right? Because he was looking to buy ammunition during class. Like he was on a website and he got caught and got in trouble or whatever. And the text from his mom was like, I'm not mad at you. Just don't get caught, right? And it's just so wild. I do think it's funny how when they were first charged or whatever, the lawyer was like, "They're not running. They're not running. They're not running."
They said the fugitive task force. They're like, where are they? Where are they?
Yeah, it's like they're not running. They don't know that they're charged.
And they're found in a warehouse.
They ran for their safety, and to me that's freaking hilarious.
Found in a warehouse. That's
crazy.
But yeah, no, I think. I do have to say it. They're all ugly as hell. That's all.
Did you see that picture? You were talking before the picture that was going around of the kid, and it was like a picture of him at 7 years old, playing with some glasses. That's a whole new level of protect this child. I can see.
He just looks like such a basic white boy. I feel like I knew kids like him, looked exactly like him, if you told me, oh, that's not this dude, it's, and then insert list here, I would believe you, because it's just such a, they really just recycle genes throughout all of the colonizers. It's just the same, because inbreeding.
I was saying,
it's very inbred.
Recycle.
There's only a small pool to choose from, but that's how they're, anyways. No, yeah, I think you're right. We do have to prepare for what that's gonna look like, right? And yeah, colonized people, we deserve the right to access for self-defense, and that is essentially what is going to be taken. And it's not like it's easy already. It's easy if you're white, and all of these regulations and things like that is going to be harder for colonized people. Even though, once again, it is a white boy doing these things. It's always white people, and we're the ones who suffer for it, and that's very purposeful. So yeah, I do think they're gonna get a hard sentence. I do think, because that gives them the precedent to be harder on us. And so,
we already saw Kamala Harris putting parents in jail for the kids being late to school. This is the next step. Kamala Harris is behind it, y'all. I bet.
It's her favorite MO.
Because where's she been? I don't know where she's been the past couple of weeks. I think she's in Michigan. I think she in Michigan. I bet she in Michigan.
Or on the phone with Michigan.
Or on the phone with Michigan. In the Sleepy Joe, hideout. I don't know. So yeah, lay back, everybody. Make sure you are not, dipping into the propaganda of pushing away the Second Amendment rights because of just general gun violence. Because we know colonialism wants us to be as weak as possible, so we don't defeat it. And so, do not let them weaken you. Lay it back. All right, let's get before, and again, make sure you donate. Make sure you donate. Black Hammer Shy. We're preparing people for winter. If you have Venmo, it's Shy Hammers, CHI Hammers. Donate and help us continue to prepare people for the winter and to continue growing our chapter and helping our houseless people, really step into their leadership, right? So help us get those resources.
Yeah, you see Audrey's hat over here? Like, it's chilly. It's chilly, y'all.
It is chilly, y'all. I keep this on for general warmth and for safety.
Yeah, for food safety.
But yeah, let's get into our announcements, y'all. We have Revolutionary Church every Tuesday, so stay tuned for that tomorrow. We got our Atlanta Hammers, again, going out doing the same thing, talking to our houseless people, politically educating our houseless people, serving them, and bringing them into revolution. So make sure you are watching that tomorrow on live on our Facebook pages, most likely, and then also you can follow up the clips later on. And then we also have the Revolutionary Book Trap with myself and the now fed Chief G.
Don't say it like that.
No, it's all bad, yo. It's all like that, yo. We all just joking. It's just that you don't see them, so now
you said now fed.
Oh my gosh! Oh yeah, I did not hear myself. I meant the now with food.
Well.
Now with food in their stomach.
Yes.
Now with food in their stomach. That's my English teacher ways. I use fancy hyphenated words. That's what I meant. They got food in their stomach, y'all. Yes, Chief G and I are co-hosting the book trap. We're reading chapters 5 through 8, or sections 5 through 8 of The Art of War. We went through the introduction to chapter 4 last time, so make sure you go. You can get the book at blackhammer.org/library. It is in there, and the audiobook is also linked in there and on YouTube. All right, so we'll see you this Sunday. And then finally, again, we're trying to drop these charges that are on our Atlanta Hammers who were out just feeding the homeless, reading the Bible, feeding people, clothing people, and were arrested violently. And we're trying to drop these bogus charges, so you need to call the Atlanta City Solicitor. Call them at 404-658-6618, extension 5, numero 5. All right, and make sure that you let them know that these charges are bogus. Just push, because our hammers don't have time for this. Our hammers need to be serving the people, and so let's make sure that we make them able to do that without any more worries from this colonial state. At least, or one less worry from this colonial state. All right. So I believe that's all of our announcements. Yes. All right. So yes, land back, everybody. We're about to wrap up 2021, y'all.
Oh my God. It's December, yo. That's wild. I'm like, what a year.
Yeah. What a year for Black Hammer, yo.
That's for sure.
Yes.
Yeah,
what a year for the Revolution. Revolution has taken major leaps and bounds into the future. And so, stick with us for the rest of 2021 and see, just what's in store for 2022.
Yeah.
We could say deuces to colonialism. Hey.
Oh God.
Double deuces to colonialism.
That was a very teacher moment. Where it's like, Mr. Oldrew, please.
I'll still do it. I'll still do it. So yeah, land back, everybody. We'll see you next time. And yes, we have to do our sign off.
What if it's deuces on Tuesday?
No. Sign off with deuces to colonialism.
To nothing.
Yes. No, we're gonna do in 1, 2, 3. All right. 1, 2, 3.